What up, guys, and welcome to another Fillmore podcast. Today, we're going to do a little comparison with The Last of Us 2 and The Last Jedi. A lot of people are comparing these two. They have very similar attributions we're going to talk about. My name is Loco, and with me, I got.
Poet, what's up, guys?
So, we always spoke about The Last of Us 2, so we don't have to go too much into the story or anything like that. Overall, in Star Wars, what did you think of the series in general? The new series.
I would say very disappointing. The Force Awakens had promise. I kind of liked that. The second time around, I watched it, but I didn't like the other two after that. Especially when I watched them a second time. Yeah, very disappointing, very unnecessary, and just overall crap, I would say.
Yeah, I disagree. I kind of liked the first movie, and I thought the last one was okay. The Force Awakens, even though it was a rehash of The New Hope, I still enjoyed it because it was visually nice, and the new characters, I liked them. There was a few drawbacks of Rey that I didn't like, that she was a Mary Sue. But overall, I liked all like Poe, Finn, and even though it was a rehash, I knew it was like a beginning. It was a start of something new. So it was exciting after waiting all those years to watch it. And then you got to see Han Solo return, Chewbacca, Millennium Falcon, Leia. But yeah, I didn't know that Luke was going to have such a small part. Well, I don't even call that a part. He's just a little cameo, last 30 seconds of the movie. But yeah, not a perfect movie. A lot of things you can improve, but it was still enjoyable. The Last Jedi, that was
Not enjoyable.
that was one of the biggest disappointments of my life in terms of entertainment and stuff like that. I don't think I've been that disappointed since Terminator 3, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Oh,
Yeah, when it comes to movies and awaiting sequels, or Actraiser 2 as a video game.
disgust.
There's very few things that disappoint me in terms of entertainment that you're really hyped about. So I did not like that at all. We'll go into that movie more in detail. But then The Rise of the Skywalker, I did like. Again, it's not a perfect movie, but JJ had to fix what Ryan Johnson did in the second one. So,
Yeah,
and he had to do it in a space of one movie. So you got to give the guy credit. Like, he had to tell his own story and try to fix what Ryan Johnson did. So it was an impossible task, but it was much better than The Last Jedi. So I liked it because it redeemed a lot of qualities that The Last Jedi ruined for me, and I believe for a lot of people. I understand some people like the movie, but a lot of people didn't. So in my head, if J.J. Abrams directed the whole three movies, it would have been much better. Probably a different story being told.
hmm
But that's my overall thoughts of the Star Wars movie. So let's uh, dive deeper into The Last Jedi and what's similar to The Last of Us 2.
yeah, yeah. You want to get started? I think we should start with maybe Joel and Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, both of them, they have hidden agendas in them. Both of them have like a split audience. Either you love it or you hate it, and people are going against each other. Both of them go with the idea that trying something new is better. I mean, you can applaud something new, but that does not make it good. Just because someone's taking a risk, that's the hence of the word risk. It doesn't mean it's going to be good. You can take a risk and it can flop badly too, you know? So just because they went to a new direction doesn't make it good. Some people say, oh, yeah, they did something new. Yeah, I can make a Star Wars movie with a webcam with me and my buddies at work and have a storyline, and it's new, but doesn't mean it's good, right? So, but yes, very strong similarities. They do something to the main characters. Last of Us 2 just kills off Joel, and The Last Jedi kills off the heart and soul of Luke Skywalker. And you have Mary Sue's in both. Ray, what I didn't like about Ray in the whole series until the last movie was that she was untouchable. And
Yeah, yeah,
if you look at it, Abby is kind of like that. She has no weaknesses. She's beating everyone's ass. She can beat these clickers with just punching their ass.
yeah,
And yeah, she's like a robot, right? So her personality fits with her abilities. Like she's unbeatable almost, right? Like you feel kind of too powered up with her.
yeah.
So you have Mary Sue's as well, and you take it from there. What do you think? How do you compare them?
Yeah, I think the characters they have that in common. But I think Ray, what was more disappointing was how fast she uses the Force and how well she does everything. So she can drive a Millennium Falcon, she can fight. She seems to be able to read Kylo Ren's mind straight away, and none of that made sense until the last movie. But I have to believe that that was not the original storyline, right? Like, spoiler alert: the Emperor is turns out to be her grandfather in the third film, which then makes the first film look a bit better because of all her powers. But I think they put that in later. And as you said, it was, I think, J.J. Abrams trying to repair a lot of the damage that was done by Ryan Johnson, who basically followed his own ideas rather than the basic outline that was left to him by J.J. Abrams. But yeah, I found Ray, aside from that, just annoying. Just the way she talks, I didn't find her funny. I didn't really root for her. But the other character was actually more interesting to me, like Poe Dameron and Finn, especially. And it was great to see Harrison Ford. But yeah, that was basically my thoughts. Same thoughts as you. That a little too much overpowered and with no weaknesses, with no sense of loss or fallibility or anything really.
So yeah, I think that was a Disney mistake. They didn't really make an outline of all the three movies. They kind of just went with the flow. So I blame Ryan Johnson, but I mainly blame Kathleen Kennedy, who was in charge of all these movies in Disney.
Yeah, yeah,
She just wanted to show like I think J.J. Abrams stood up to her more. I think he said no more than Ryan Johnson. I think Ryan Johnson just said yes to everything. Like he was just happy to work in a Star Wars movie because he's done better work than this. So I can't really
yeah,
blame him. I just think he was like, okay, I'm doing a Star Wars movie.
yeah.
I know if I talk back, maybe I'll get replaced back by JJ or something. Maybe he was just like, okay,
Maybe,
I,
maybe.
I just want to make this movie, and at least I'll know I made a Star Wars movie. But if yeah, but that might be the worst Star movies of all time. I mean, I don't know. You can compare it with the early prequels, but I tried to watch this movie again just to give it a benefit of doubt, and I couldn't get it past the first 25, 30 minutes again.
Oh, okay.
This that movie has so much I don't like that I can't even watch it. I can't even give it a chance. And as a movie, that's where it fails. The Last of Us 2, the story is terrible in my opinion. But you
Yeah.
have fun playing it. It's a different genre. You can't compare them. You can't say, "Oh yeah, it's the same thing," because you can still play and have fun. There's no fun to be had in the Last Jedi.
No, not at all. I watched it again too, and it was what I found the second time without the emotion attached with is just very boring. Found it very slow, and some really weird stuff in it too. Yeah,
What I don't like about Ray, another very similar thing is people try to like both Disney and Neil Druckmann, they can't take like constructive criticism. If you don't like it, there's something wrong with you, or you don't like females, or you don't like this. Yeah, bullshit. I'm with Ellie, who they show as a lesbian, who has a lesbian partner, and they're raising a kid together. I'm with her against Abby. So using that excuse is kind of horseshit to me. So anyone who says that is like, no, look who you're actually with. Isn't she more diverse and more, you know what I mean, out there than Abby
yeah,
when it
that's
comes to society, what they accept? And that's who you are with more? No, Abby was a shit character and I didn't like her and I didn't care about her and I had to play as her. Whereas a TV show or a movie, you just see the character. If you don't like a character, you see them what, for 1 hour, 2 hours, at most. And then that's it. You don't have to deal with it. In this game, you have to play as the character you didn't like for 8 to 10 hours.
yeah.
So that character was terrible, but the game was fun. So The Last of Us has that going for it. Where The Last Jedi Whew, I can't do
Yeah.
it. Ray. So go back to Ray. I don't think her acting is bad or anything, but yeah, they made her too perfect too soon. But yeah, it was. I don't think I don't believe it was the original idea as well, where she was going to be the emperor's kid because emperor's
No.
grandkid. Because when you look at the Steins in the first movie, they know who she is. If you look at the history of Star Wars, why would they accept anything related to the emperor after everything's done? They would stay away from that person, not accept her. Like Leia was hugging her, Han was like traveling with her, and even Han in the Force Awakens when he's in that, I don't know, that bar or wherever that, and that weird alien asks him, "Who's the girl with you?" and they cut the camera off him. That pretty much gave the indication that Han Solo knows who she is, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And then you have the whole lightsaber calling to her. Why would a lightsaber call to an emperor's blood? Makes no sense at all.
yeah.
In my mind, she was either going to be related to Luke, or I would even say Obi-Wan Kenobi, because that lightsaber also belonged to Obi-Wan before it went to Luke.
That's correct. Yeah.
So I think, yeah, it was going to be one of those two things. But then after what Ryan Johnson did, they
Ugh.
JJ had to suddenly like show why she's so powerful. Although it's also his fault because he made her pretty powerful right away in the first movie. If
Yeah,
a few changes in the Force Awakens would have made a really good movie, where
yeah,
she doesn't mind read Kylo Ren. She tries and she can maybe hear a few words just to show that she has the ability, but then like just to show that she got overpowered. And then the final battle with Kylo as well. If she, I don't know, she lost that battle, it would more make more sense that then she needs Luke Skywalker to train her. You have someone who's already holding their own, who didn't have any force training in what, like 20 years, like 15 years,
mm,
holding their own on Kylo Ren, who you assume is practicing every day. Then why is she even looking for Luke? It makes zero sense. If she's already so strong, she doesn't need Luke's guidance. It's it's like Karate Kid. Imagine Daniel just whoop Johnny's ass in the first 5 minutes of the movie, and he whoops
yeah,
his
yeah,
ass throughout the movie. You're
yeah,
not going to root for him in the end fight. You might be with Johnny.
yeah,
So like, how can you root for someone who's so powerful? That's why even like in the old classic movies, like Superman, when he loses his abilities and he gets his butt whooped in the cafe, like you have to show weaknesses so they become a little human that you can relate to, right? So if
yeah,
you have an unrelatable character, like Anakin was flawed, you related to him, he,
yeah.
the way he was like flawed and stuff, that was good. Even Luke Skywalker wasn't perfect in the beginning, right? He had to learn and develop his skills.
Yeah, he left his training and he got messed up, lost his hand.
Exactly. So people try to complain, oh, you just don't like females strong. Look at Luke Skywalker. No, he got his hand chopped off, and it showed that no, you really do need your training. It's important, right? But Ray
Yeah.
is just perfect in everything. So
It doesn't matter if he was female or male. That has nothing to do with it from my point of view. That's just anytime you try to criticize now, it's like it always comes to that. But it has nothing to do with it. It's just a shit character. That's all.
yeah, but yeah, exactly. That's why people. That's why these two fan bases are similar. If you don't like the game, yeah, because you don't like women or you don't like this. Last of Us 2, like I said, we are with a woman. We are with a girl that we liked from the first movie. You're with her, so and she's not straight, and she's raising a kid. You know what I mean? Like, and she's raising a kid with someone with a different like what she like. Dina, she's like Jewish too. So like, there's so many things. Like, if you wanted to hate it, then why would you even support Ellie? You don't, right? So I think that excuse people use is they can't just take the game. The storyline was horseshit and they make excuses. They hide behind all this feminism and all this shit, but it makes
Yeah,
no
that's what it
sense.
is, hiding it. And what I don't like is the older people of our generation who say they like this film, but I swear they don't. They're just afraid to voice their actual opinion because they don't want to be seen as like old haters or whatever. You feel that too, or am I wrong?
Uh, I don't know about that, but it's different for different people. Like who you watched it with. If you have kids, if you have daughters, maybe
Yeah, yeah,
you want them to
yeah.
see like a strong female, but showing a woman who or any character who has weaknesses and then they overcome the weakness is a bigger lesson than showing a perfect person. So yeah, I don't know how anyone could actually like this movie. And another thing is, if people love to say that, oh, you don't like Ray because she's a girl. Like, What shit are you talking? We love Princess Leia. What is she? People love Princess Leia from those movies. Like, you know what I mean? For how many? 30 years? 40
Yeah,
years?
yeah,
But like, what is she? Like, it makes zero sense, right? Like, she's fighting too. You know what I mean? In the first movies, right? They show her right away like she's capable of doing some shit of her own.
yeah,
So that whole argument goes away. Even Padme is not like a, she's not a weakling. Even
yeah,
she
yeah,
like stands her own, and everyone liked that character. No, there's not many people that say Padme sucked, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
And that's long term fans that didn't like the Last Jedi. And then the worst thing you could do is turn Luke Skywalker into like a comedic parody of himself.
Was that even Luke Skywalker? I don't know what that was, man. That was some weird shit.
People try to say, "Oh yeah, he got lost," but Luke Skywalker wouldn't act like that, regardless. Milking cows and the space cows and
Yeah,
throwing the lightsaber away like that, and not reacting.
yeah. After everything he went through, it doesn't make any sense.
And then the way he dies too is what? First of all, they made him such a coward that he physically can't go there and help them out. Like he just has to meditate, and then he dies doing that too. Like, oh my god, what a death! You die just meditating and doing like a
Hologram.
hologram, hologram of yourself, and then they're trying to show like he went in peace. No, he didn't go in peace. Kylo Ren is still alive. People are still trying to destroy the world, and all that stuff is still happening. It's
Yeah,
in the
thanks
middle
for
of a war.
that.
Why would he go in peace when he knows it's going down? It makes him look like even a bigger coward. Like, yeah, I'm out of here. See ya. And the fact that Mark Hamill also said he hates his character
Yeah,
in this movie, and yeah, it's like you can portray him as a different, guy as he's older, but don't make him into like this comedy suck. You know what I mean? Who can't do nothing and is just like past his prime. And the worst part is when and the way he trains Ray as well. Like he has one lesson where she's just like, I can't even remember, like on a rock or something. That's the only lesson. And then they have like a little fight. And guess who wins in that little fight too? Even though it's not that important, but Ray puts Luke on his ass, and that's when I'm like, I give up. Like, okay, who's training who here, right? She was
yeah,
never put in her place in the first two movies at all, and she's supposed
yeah,
to be the person you're rooting for, and then she's beating you, the main guy from the movies that
yeah,
everyone loves, and then it's
yeah,
like, what's the point? Why are you even there? It makes zero sense. Why are you even there? Like, yeah, I think these Star Wars movies could be really good. They had a good cast and stuff. The production values were really good, but the first movie was a setup movie, so you can let it go. But yeah, the second movie was such a downer that the third movie, the best it could do was be like an okay movie, try to fix things.
yeah.
That's why I like the last movie because, first of all, Poe, he was a badass in the first one. In the second one, they show him to be like a loser who makes all these mistakes, and then the women have to come fix it. It is a feminist movie. You can't hide it. You can't hide the fact that the Last Jedi is forcing it on you to show, yeah, women are better than men.
Yeah, it is. But the thing I didn't like about that part with Vice Admiral Holdo, and Princess Leia not telling Poe Dameron the plan. Like, why would you not tell him the plan? Just tell him the plan is this: we're going to escape using the pods. But they, knock him out, put him away, and then they tell him afterwards. Like, why? It makes no sense. Do you know what I mean? They could have just told him. He's not going to be like, "Oh, don't do it." It was just weird. Like, I don't understand that whole part.
And Holdo, the way she dies, like a heroic death, whereas General Akbar dies in like a voiceover in the background. Oh, he's dead. I like you want to show strong females, fine, but this was so obvious what they're trying to do that it becomes ridiculous. It would have been the same way if it was the opposite, opposite. If they're showing like Princess Leia or someone die like a sucker,
Yeah,
and they show a man so overpowered, it would be the same. So it doesn't work both ways.
yeah,
But like, it's so obvious what it's doing, and it's doing it too much. Ray is like a super ninja Jedi in this movie, whereas Luke took so long just to pick up, his ship right from the wherever that lake, wherever that swamp.
yeah.
And she's like picking up boulders of rocks already. Like, what the hell, man? And the whole like her and Kylo Ren, like seeing each other in their thoughts, and Kylo Ren's shirtless for some reason. It was so weird. Like it was not artistic. It was stupid.
Force texting. Force texting.
It was just weird. Like, and then and then of course we have to talk about Snoke. He was built up to be
Oh,
this really big bad guy in the first movie,
yeah.
and what happens in the second movie? He gets clapped like a little ant. He can't notice that there's a lightsaber that's coming, right, floating, about to kill him. Like
Yeah.
the whole movie makes zero sense. It's basically Ryan Johnson trying to erase what JJ did in the first movie, like a pissing contest, and then JJ has to go and erase what Ryan Johnson did in the second movie. The
Yeah,
whole
that ruins those two movies so much.
like suddenly Ray's parents are nobodies. Again, the first movie showed that Leia knew who she was, Han knew who she was, and they're embracing her. Clearly, she's nothing to do with the Emperor. The lightsaber's calling her. R2D2 wakes up when she's at the same location. Why the hell would R2D2 wake up if the Emperor's granddaughter is there, right? So that
Yeah.
shows they changed the story. No one can
Yeah.
deny that. They changed it. They definitely changed it.
Yeah, definitely she was supposed to be, one of the good guys' daughters somehow, or niece or something.
Something, yeah. Even like I don't know, make her like someone like from the prequels, like relate to someone else. Like it would make sense.
Yeah.
Having her as the Emperor's line of blood makes zero sense, and how they're all embracing her and stuff when they know and they've seen what happened to Darth Vader and the Emperor. They know what happens. It makes
Yeah.
zero sense. In
It
the
also
last,
makes zero sense that the emperor is still alive.
yeah, I don't know. I only saw the third movie once. Did it explain how is it life?
No.
But they don't. I thought they showed something like the like
Just
Templars have got him and like somehow are like rebuilding him or something. I don't know.
yeah, something. It was
Or he
stupid,
moves
man.
his soul into different people, right? But like
Something, man. I don't know. I couldn't watch it the second time. I couldn't watch it. I made it half an hour and then I had to turn it off.
I will come in the end of the movie not explaining to anyone why I'm here.
He's here for ratings, ladies and gentlemen, to bring the audience back.
But that guy's a great actor. I can't believe he played the same character in all three trilogies. That's insane.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. Well, was he in the? Oh yeah, he was. He was in all three.
Yeah, because he's a young guy acting in the first movies as the old emperor when he wasn't that old, right?
Yeah. Then he was old, and he was in the prequel.
And then now he's now in this one, yeah.
Good for him.
But yeah, I know this was supposed to be a comparison, but really, I just want to talk about the Last Jedi. It's been too long, and it's been enough time that we're not going on a bandwagon, right? There's enough time that no one cares really about anymore. But it's a terrible movie in my opinion. Anyone that likes it, I think, is just trying to be different. I mean, I don't know how you like if you like love the original Star Wars movie. I don't know how you like this movie. If you don't care about the original Star Wars movies, then I can get it, right? If you're not really a Star Wars fan, whatever, you might have different reasons to like it. But if
Yeah,
you're a
yeah.
true fan, I don't know how you can like this movie.
Well, I only know 2 or 3 people who are over 30 who like this movie, but whatever.
And are they fans of the original movie?
Yeah, they are.
That makes zero sense to me. Again, like, oh, let's not forget about Finn's side story with Rose. Again,
Ugh.
Rose was another terrible character.
Ugh.
Like, I don't know, she was not
Oh no,
likable.
no,
Like,
no! You're anti-Chinese. You're anti-women, man.
no, this character sucks. Like,
Exactly, exactly.
and it just suddenly comes out of nowhere and is doing everything. And again, she saves Finn. Like, this movie just okay. Women are better than men. We'll take like 3 hours, however long it was, to show you why and how. And that's what the whole movie is, I think, in my opinion.
That didn't bother me. That what bothered me was just that her parts and Finn was wasted. The part when they went to the casino and everything was really boring, and Benicio del Toro was wasted. In that was a good half an hour at least, or something like that. But it was just completely unnecessary. I don't know. Did you find that part boring?
Yeah, I think it was just like I don't know what it was. It was like a circus. It was just it takes you away from the movie, even though I wasn't having a good time with the movie, but it takes you completely away from it. And it's just weird. It's just like, what am I watching? Like, and like then you see the casino, then you think maybe a major character is going to come back, but they don't. That's why I like the third movie. At least they brought back, other people. they showed Rey's weaknesses in the third movie, where she actually loses the battle against Kylo. That made me like Rey more. Like now, I was rooting for her. Like finally they showed that she has a weakness and she's not better than everybody.
Yeah.
Like that made me root for her more. Like I was with them in the end and stuff. And I think the third movie had a great opportunity to do something that would have been really cool in the end, where she's hearing the voices of all the Jedi's. If they
Yeah,
just
yeah.
had like the holograms behind her too, like that would have been so cool. Like to visually see all those guys behind her, like Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader,
Yeah, he was supposed to have a scene apparently with her, but I don't know what happened.
and Ewan McGregor as Obi Wan. Like if they were just there visually, man, how cool would that have been? Right behind her
That, that
when
would have been
she's going
cool.
against the Emperor. Like that would have been cool. Like even if like holograms, they could have easily done that. So, but yeah, I liked it way better than the second one, and at least it tried to explain why, and it kind of made sense. And people always talk about, oh, why does she call herself Skywalker? Because that's the only family that embraced her, right? Like you have to assume that she's when she spent time with Luke, she got attached to him there. They didn't show everything. Leia, she was clearly getting trained by her. Han Solo in the first movie, and then in between, right? So she is like connected to that family, and Kylo Ren basically puts the last form of energy of his life into her to save her, right? So she literally does have Skywalker force in her because that guy gave her last energy, and he's a half a Skywalker, right? So I don't mind that. Like it makes sense. Like she's gonna call herself Skywalker. Like it's not ideal, but I didn't hate it as much as people were complaining about it. What about you?
Yeah, I did. It was okay. It was okay. At first, I kind of liked it because it reversed a lot of the things. But when I watched it a second time, I didn't like it as much because that's what it is. It's just a film that's trying to fix the story and plot points, and it does that, but it does it in a messy way. And it was good to see Lando back and stuff like that. And the fight scenes were not bad, so it was definitely better than the Last Jedi. But I
And
still like it the second time I watched it.
they redeemed Poe as well in this one,
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
and even Finn, like he was a bigger badass. And there's some people I can't remember what they were called. They helped Finn in this one, in the last one.
yeah, with
Like,
the horses and horse
yeah,
type
like
creatures.
yeah, I didn't mind them too. Like they were okay. Like
Yeah, yeah,
so,
that was cool. Yeah,
yeah, it's fixing what happens in the second movie, but that's why I liked it because you finally see weaknesses in some of these characters, so you can actually start rooting for them.
and it was good to see Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill with little cameos as memories and ghosts.
And yeah, the ghost of Luke was the character you wanted to see in the Last Jedi. Basically, the ghost that he was
Yeah,
in the Rise of the Skywalker should have been how he was in the second movie, right?
yeah,
And it makes zero sense how Han's ghost, who's not a Jedi, shows up. But at this point, you're just like, okay, the trilogy's ending. It's already done. They already ruined it. Might as well enjoy it, right?
yeah.
Hello, son. It's like, oh yeah, how you back?
It's a memory. It's not a ghost. It's a memory.
They say it's a memory, but no, he was physically there. He wasn't like imagining, and he was telling him what was happening too. You can't have a memory of something you don't know about, right? But yeah, Han Solo's cool. So any more of him is just a bonus, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Chewie, we're home.
Oh,
Like, yeah, that's why the Force Awakens was just awesome. Like, just seeing those characters back, I guess, right? So you can excuse it for everything else it is, because it's again like it was a setup movie. But yeah, the second movie, you, for me, yeah, it did bother me when they're overdoing it with feminism. Just like if they overdid it with guys, like you don't overdo it with anything. Like I don't care, like I don't want to see anyone overdone, right? If you want to make things normal, you show people as normal characters, right? And yeah, there's too many differences from the first movie to the second movie where it's just like you don't really feel like it's really a sequel. It's like an alternative universe almost,
yeah, yeah, yeah. They all feel like that. They all
which
feel
is
like that.
ironic because people are trying to petition to get these movies erased. And I don't know if it's rumors, but there are strong rumors that are going out that Disney are going to make it like this was just an alternative universe and erase it from the main storyline of Star Wars. And I think they would do that probably just to make more money, right? So they can make more Star Wars movies with the main characters or some of them. Now they kind of missed the boat because like Princess Leia uh, passed away in real life, right?
Yeah.
so she can't come back and do anything.
Carrie Fisher. Yeah.
Yeah, Carrie for sure, and yeah, I don't think Harrison Ford will come back to it as well. I think he's pretty much done. But at least you can maybe have a good Luke Skywalker doing stuff, right? If they're gonna reboot it, or will they just reboot it with not having these main characters at all? I don't know, but it was a good opportunity lost. Like, yeah, it's a mess of a movie. The three movies did not gel together like a series should.
Yeah.
That's where Marvel, I think, deserve a lot of credit. Look how many
Oh yeah,
movies
yeah.
they did and how they link up to each other perfectly.
Exactly,
Because they
exactly.
had a plan from beginning exactly what's going to happen till what we see seen.
Yeah, yeah,
So like 50, whatever, 10 years ago, they probably made the whole movie storyline. They just changed a little bits here and there, but they
yeah.
pretty much knew. Okay, this is the guideline we're going to follow it. Whereas Star Wars, you could tell they changed it movie for movie, and it became a mess. You, in the meantime of the last podcast, finished The Last of Us 2. What do you think of it now comparatively to when you left it off last time?
I think it's number one. It's a great game, just if based on the gameplay. It's fun to play, right? But it has a worse storyline and the worst ending in gaming history. So I would say I have mixed feelings.
If you had to compare the two, where did you get more enjoyment? Last of Us 2 or The Last Jedi?
Last of Us 2, because the video game, you still get to shoot, still get to play, you still get to have some fun. You know what I mean? But Last Jedi, there's no fun, man. There's no fun to be had.
So let me ask you this: story wise, though, if you just look at stories, which one do you think has the worst story? The Last of Us 2 or The Last Jedi?
Ooh, they're both really bad. I don't know, man.
They're both really bad. I'll give it to The Last Jedi because you're dealing with a huge franchise over 30
Yeah,
years, where The Last of Us was what,
one
7 years
game.
ago?
Yeah,
One game and probably like some comics in between and DLCs and whatever, right? But still, it's not Star Wars. Like, you're trying to change the whole game of Star Wars is different than changing just one game. But
yeah, yeah. Star Wars has a lot of touch to it, a lot of fanfare, a lot of hype, a lot of money, a lot of everything. It's huge, you know. It's an important part of a lot of people's childhoods.
then if you look at that point of view, The Last of Us forces you to play with a character you don't like, and that's 10 hours of you actually totally immersed as that character. It's not like a TV show where they show the bad guy's storyline for like an episode or two, right? Sometimes they do that. You just have to bear that for like 45 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours at most out of the whole series. This is 8 hours to 10 hours. That's not a joke. You're playing as someone you hate, and you can try to see the manipulation behind it where they're trying to get you to feel for this character, even to the
Yeah,
point where when she's fighting Ellie, they want you to be with Abby against Ellie, right? They're trying to brainwash you to be with Abby. Abby gets away in the end way better off than Ellie in the end of the game, right? Yeah, she's like starving and she's hanging, but she's gonna be okay. Ellie lost everything, even her fingers. Like, so forget the guitar. Even like defending herself is gonna be more different now, right? More difficult shooting guns and stuff, right? So they want you to like Abby better than the main character that you liked from the first game. That is dumb as hell, especially with someone with no character, with no redeeming character abilities. Like, nothing memorable about that character. Like, I don't want to go to Starbucks and have a coffee with her. We would just be sitting there in silence. Like,
yeah,
she's that type of person, right?
yeah.
Like, oh, what did you do today? Yeah, I did this. What did you do? Yeah, I did this. Then that's it. Awkward drinking coffee for
Awkward
the rest of
silence.
20 minutes. Yeah. Whereas Ellie is like a character you can talk to her about music. Like, she has so many different things about her, right? Like, with like many layers, like, I would say, where Abby has one layer, Ellie has multiple layers. But yeah, Abby and Ray both annoyed me. Yeah. Abby, because obviously you're playing as the bad character and she has no characteristics to like. And like I said, Ray is a Mary Sue. I'm not going to support any Mary Sue in any movie, even Superman. Imagine if Superman didn't have kryptonite. What would you like it? Like, you know what I mean? If you knew he had no weaknesses, like, and Superman just wants to fit in, right? He just wants to fit in with people. He wants to be acknowledged and loved by Earth. It shows a human side to him. So I don't know. Like I always picture like, yeah, Karate Kid or Rocky. Imagine Rocky movies. He beats Apollo's ass in the first movie, then he beats him again in the rematch. You know what I mean? Then he beats Mr. T the first time. Like, You've just said, why am I watching this? What's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
So like, yeah, like people always complain about men, yeah, but they show men losing the heroes and how they get back up. I think that makes a much stronger person, women or men, to show you fall and give you guidelines on how to get back up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Sarah Connor, Ripley, they all have that.
yeah, everything like Terminator 2, right? He's way underpowered compared to the T-1000, right? So you're rooting for him. Kyle Reese. I'm not with Schwarzenegger in Terminator 1. I'm with Kyle Reese, right? Like
Yeah.
people like the underdog, if and then or if you're not gonna do underdog, don't make it something like this perfect as hell. Like yeah, so story wise, both are terrible, but both have a similar thing where they're both not accepting the criticism now.
Yeah.
Even like Neil Druckmann is basically saying, "Oh, if you don't like the game because you have issues with this or that," instead of saying, at least be like honorable about it. Like, okay, I made some changes. I know some people won't like, but some people do like it. Like, at least acknowledge it instead of labeling, "No, you're the problem, right? Not my game." So yeah, that's my thoughts. I can go way deeper into Last Jedi, but
Yeah.
I don't want to get too angry. That's why I
Yeah.
know that movie is really bad because it's been years and I'm still angry about it when I think about it. Like when I
Yeah.
just have to think about it, I get angry again. I mean, I don't think about it every day, but when I do, it makes me angry. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, anger is a strong word. I think more disappointment. Like I
Sorry,
just
the word is disgust.
disgust. I'm sorry, but I am disgusted. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's our view of The Last of Us 2 and The Last Jedi. Again, comparing the two because they do have similar features, similar audience, similar makers who are basically trying to tell the audience, no, there's a problem with you of not liking this product. Instead of just letting it go, right? If you don't like it, you don't like it. Just at least do that, right? It makes it more annoying when they're trying to blame you. So yeah, that was the look at The Last Jedi. Star Wars, probably the latest three movies in general. We talked about them more than The Last of Us 2. We already did a podcast about that, so you can go hear that if you like.
Yep.
We went into way more details, and we'll be back next week with something new to talk about.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening. This has been Loco and Poet with the Fillmore Podcast. Peace.